So I just moisturize with the Yes to Carrots and this brush. And then I use the Nivea Post Shave Balm for primer. Then you want to make sure you get down your neck too. And I also put chapstick on before I do my makeup, just to let it soak in and moisturize before I put anything on my lips. And then I also use the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water, just because my skin's really dry. And then I let that sit in for a couple minutes. I use the Makeup Forever HD foundation. And I usually just apply it with my fingers, just to get it on there. Make sure you get your neck too, because you don't want to have a mask looking face. Trust me on that one. And then I'm using this It Cosmetics brush just to blend it all in. If you need more, you can always just go in with a second layer, but I prefer just to have enough, just a little bit. And then I take my Maybelline concealer, it's cheap and it works good. Just highlight and conceal under my eyes. And then I also like to put it on my eyes as well, so it cancels out all the veins and redness on my eyes before I do eyeshadow. Basically as a primer, but I don't really use a primer. And then down the center of the nose to highlight right here on your Cupid's bow. And then you just blend it all in with your beauty blender. That has to be damp, so I gotta go do that. Alright, so damp beauty blender, blend out your concealer. Sorry if the lighting sucks, like, looks better over there, but whatever. I can't do anything about it right now. Just blending in all that concealer. Next, I go in with my Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. Make sure there's no creases from the concealer, and then just use your beauty blender, damp still, and work the powder under your eyes so you don't get any creasing. You can also like bake, but I don't usually bake in the winter because my skin is really dry. And then I will go in with this big powder brush from, I don't know, Target or something. And then I don't rub it into my skin first. I like to pounce it into my skin so it gets in there, and then I brush away the excess. And you want to do this all over your face, because if you don't set it, your not your concealer, your bronzer, your contour, your blush, all that stuff won't, it'll stick, but it'll stick to your skin and it won't blend as easily. So we just set our skin with powder to make sure everything is nice and blended when we go in with that. And now I am taking my Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder in medium in my Morphe M143. And then I just hold on. And when you do your contour, you want to do it right in the hollows of your cheekbones. See? In the hollow of your cheekbones. And you want to blend up, because if you blend down, it'll look muddy. And it won't make your face look as sculpted, which obviously is what you're going for. And since this is a gold bristled brush, it distributes the product nicely. It doesn't, whereas like synthetic brushes, they will tend to put too much product down at once. And then you also should blend up into your temples and at the top of your forehead, but if you have a bigger forehead, you'll want to contour it more. And if your forehead's smaller, you don't need to contour it as much. So I don't really contour mine. You can contour under your chin where you get your double chin, and it helps to make it look slim down. You can contour your nose too, but I don't do that. I mean, I practice, but I'm not that good yet, so. Elijah's at work. Dogs are barking. Yay. Alright, and then now we're going to go in with blush. And this is the Aurora blush from the Kevyn Aucoin palette. So the one right here. And that's the contour shade I used. And I'm going to be using my Morphe E4. I just kind of stamp it in, and then I'll like go back and sweep it. And then for highlight, I use my Morphe M551. Wait, no, I use my Morphe M501. And I like to use my MAC powder in Nylon, my MAC eyeshadow, because it's really fair for fair people like me. And then you just put this at the highest point of your cheekbones. You don't want to have too much to where it's looking, you know, like a streak. I mean, it's all your preference with however much glow you want to have. But I just do a little minimal amount because I don't want to look blinding. The tip of your nose, the middle of the bridge of your nose to help make it look slimmer. And then you can highlight your chin, but my chin I feel like is big, so I don't like to highlight it. And then next, I like to use this Pixie Glow Mist. It has argan oil in it and stuff, so like I said, since my skin is dry, I like to do that after I put my foundation and all my powders on, so it helps to sink in all the powder you just put on your face and blend it as one so it's more natural looking. And then I take my beauty blender and I just like to go over my skin with it just to make sure everything is set in place nicely. And then some days I will go and clean up my bronzer, which my contour, which I think I'm going to do. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't, just depending on how messy it gets or how sharp I want it. Alright, so then you look like this. And then you let that sink in a little bit and do your eyebrows or whatever your preferred schedule to do your stuff is. I usually just like to do my eyebrows at this point. Here. And then I just I don't know, I just wing it every time. Just kidding. I usually fill the edges first, and then I fill in the middle where the hairs are sparse. But my eyebrows are naturally pretty well shaped and thick, so, well, not thick, but they're pretty good size, so I don't really need to do too much. And then at the start, I just like to flick them up so it looks like more natural, you know? And then I brush through my brows to make sure everything is blended. In this spot, I always have trouble on because it's, I don't know, it's always been kind of bald right there. And then I'll take, sorry about that. I'll take my Anastasia brow gel in blonde because they were out of clear. And then I run that through my brows, and this just makes sure your brows stay in place and all the brow pencil you just put on there does not come off during the day. And my next eyebrow, just draw the top first. I do light strokes. And if you go out of line a little bit, it's okay, because you can just use your spoolie and it will blend it out and get it off. Then I just brush through them again. Look at them, make sure I like the way they are. And then I'll take my same Anastasia Brow Wiz, or not Brow Wiz, Brow Gel. I use the Anastasia Brow Wiz for my eyebrows, and sometimes I use the Anastasia Dip Brow. But lately I haven't been using that. And then I just take this Sonia Kashuk brush, powder brush, and then I just dust away the bake under my contour. So it's like that. It's so hard to show you guys. And yes, I am breaking out a lot. I don't know why. PMS or some shit. Alright, next we have eyes. So this is how the face turned out. Okay, so my other video got cut off. Elijah called me and didn't know I was making a video. So we're going to be taking a light chocolatey brown shade. Tap off the excess. And then focus this on the outer edge and then bring it into the crease. And then you're going to want to switch your brush back to the M553 or M533. And then you're going to want to go back into that orangey color, the super light skin tone color, just to blend everything out and make sure it looks nice and seamless. Just to blend it all out. And then once you got that, you're going to be taking your, well, I'm taking my Morphe M443. And this one's more of like a skinnier brush. See, as you can tell, it's skinny and then it gets fatter at the top. So it helps when you put the color right on the end, and then the sides, the shorter bristles, help to diffuse and blend it out. So you can either go in with whatever you want right now. You can use a rusty brown or a chocolate brown, but I'm going to be using a chocolate brown shade tap off the excess, and then I'm just going to be going in my outer V. Just like this. And then once you have the color placed mostly where you want it, you can go back in with your, where is it? Not that brush, where's the brush? Ah! You're gonna go back in with your M441, and then just use that pukey brown color again to help blend out that chocolate we just put in there, or maroon, whatever you want to do. Either way, it'll look really good. And then I think I'm liking how this is turning out already with the smokiness. So I am going to grab a brush to highlight my brow bone, which in this case I'm going to be going in with my Tartelette in the Tartelette in Bloom palette, and I'm going to be grabbing this white shade right there, and then just put it right underneath your brow. And this just helps to get everything blended, but you don't want your eyeshadows to be too high to your brow bone, or else it won't look just, I don't know, it just doesn't look as good. And then you're gonna grab your big fluffy, I think it's the M531, and you're gonna wanna blend those out again together. And then back in with the Tartelette in Bloom palette, we're gonna be using I'm using this Urban Decay brush I have, and we're gonna be taking Funny Girl, it's right here, just a light champagne-y shimmery shade, and then just pack this onto the lid. And since it's not quite as pigmented as I want, I will take either my photo finish primer water, or I'll take the Pixie Glow Mist and spray it so my brush is a little bit wet. And then when your brush is a little bit wet, it helps your shadows to become more pigmented and lighter, as you can see. And then that's how I do it. And then I'll take my blending brush again, my crease brush, so the M441, and I just blend that glitter in there to make sure, you know, it's how I like it. And then last but not least, I take a tiny little brush. I gotta find it. Tiny little brush. And then I'm going back in with my MAC Nylon eyeshadow. And then, and then I just highlight the inner corner. Like that. And then I also go in and I do my lower lash line. So I will take, which brush do I want? I will take the Morphe E18, and I will go back in with this orangey transition color we used at first, and just put it right under here. Just blend it out. Hi, Brink. Hi. We do that, and then I'm taking an even smaller brush. And, oh, let's see if I can find it. Here we go. It's the Morphe 432, and it just looks like this. It's like it can be used as an eyeliner brush or like a smudger brush, or I like to use it for my lower lash line, and I'm taking the chocolatey brown shades we used, and you just put it as close to the lash line. And then go back in with the M32, take a little bit more of that orange, and then you're gonna blend it out because you don't want it to be, you want a gradient effect. So that's the main goal for this whole look. Well, for whole eye looks in general, is you want a gradient. Yeah, that's it.